I'm Wyatt Cash with Scoop News Group, and we're here at FedScoop's ITModTalks with Mia Jordan, Digital Transformation Executive for Public Sector at Salesforce. Mia, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you, Wyatt.
So a little more than a year now into the Biden administration, I'd be interested to hear, where have you seen some of the greatest progress in IT modernization in the federal government?
Well, I think we should all be aware, if we're not already, that technology has been a foundational component for responding to the pandemic. There was no playbook, right, for how to respond to tracking, managing, and containing the virus. Contact tracing was new, and the vast rollout of PPE, tracking vaccines and boosters was a monumental undertaking. Much of this was made possible by leveraging low-code modern platforms, adopting agile principles for rapid application development to get the tools into the hands of decision makers in days and weeks rather than months and years. There was obviously no time to wait. Additionally, low-code platforms were used to deliver financial assistance to millions of businesses. Think PPE, right? Upwards of 60 billion or more was seamlessly delivered to ensure minimal disruption to the economy. And so I think that type of progress, honestly, has laid the foundation for how we see ourselves moving forward.
Well, next, how has IT modernization really helped federal agencies also get a better handle on securing their most valuable systems?
So IT modernization is a long-standing mandate. It's often unfunded, difficult to prioritize, especially against the needs of the pandemic, natural disasters, and other agency priorities. However, I'd like to highlight the cyber executive order. I think it catapults cyber requirements to the forefront. And many of the tenets of the cyber executive order were often brushed off in the past as optional or nice to haves, like creating a standard playbook for responding to cyber events. All those types of things could typically fall to the bottom of the list in modernization initiatives. But as the wheels grind and many modernization initiatives are gaining traction, it's important for federal agencies to look for scalable solutions. They need to scrutinize the benefits they offer. Our platform, for example, enables fast deployments in a FedRAMP secure GovCloud environment. And more than that, we invest over $3.6 billion a year in R&D, so the benefits continue to grow. Today, as the executive order forces federal agencies to think about cyber less from a compliance perspective, we start to think about modernization more holistically: secure, simple to use, accessible, equitable, protective, transparent, and responsive systems. It only makes sense to leverage technologies that can offer these simple, seamless, secure customer experiences. And low code, again, FedRAMP approved solutions for the federal space is the answer for IT modernization. And that is what we offer.
Well, next, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. The White House issued another executive order on customer experience. And I'd be interested to hear how you've seen federal agencies, take steps to deliver better digital services to American citizens.
I love the customer experience executive order because I think it provides a lot more meat on the bone in terms of what customer experience is versus customer service, right? They're not the same. The customer experience is broader, it's deeper than just the level of service received. And so with customer experience, we're thinking about now the total perception of the agency, interaction by interaction, from the first touch point to the last. So it's things like navigating a website, talking to representatives over the phone, or experiencing an onboarding phase after a purchase. In other words, it's the sum of all the interactions. And so federal agencies, I think, have taken a critical first step with identifying a customer experience officer. However, if you examine the executive order, there's a tight relationship, I believe, that exists or needs to exist between the customer experience officer, the CXO, and the CIO, because much of what you find in that executive order is around how to provide services to citizens in a very different format. Instead of having to come in, now online portals and things of that nature will be needed. So I'm really excited to see how it takes shape over the coming months. And I believe that agencies will find a solution in our product for many of their needs around customer experience and customer engagement.
Fantastic. And then lastly, Mia, what across the federal IT landscape stands out to you most as having the biggest potential or need for modernization in the coming years?
I think much of what we expect to see kind of evolving over time is a few things. First and foremost, modernizing federal IT for the digital era is what we're really thinking about. And that focus, I think, will be focused a lot on antiquated mission systems that are or have surpassed their end of life. So many of our modernization efforts, I think, will continue to be accelerated by the pace of change that's straining government service quality and service delivery, especially as customers continually become more sophisticated and develop higher expectations based on private sector experiences. And so delivering innovation quickly, I think, is going to be something that becomes standard. It becomes common. Using composable applications, realizing faster time to value, think hyperautomation. Transparency, performance, and accountability. Leaders will need to make decisions faster, and they will need to use solutions that provide insight into systems that they haven't had before. Another kind of up and coming example that I think we'll see more of potentially is that the pandemic has paved a way or paved the path for work from anywhere. And agencies will be attracted to a digital headquarters workplace and those approaches where employees will always have ready access to timely information. More importantly, we know that governments play a critical role in unprecedented economic times. And so things like tracking and auditing decarbonization in terms of our sustainability initiatives and climate change. I think we'll see a lot more in those spaces over time, and we'll see those efforts and projects being added to federal IT roadmaps. And so those are some of the areas where we are focused and where we look to stand in the gap.
Those are some really interesting observations. Well, Mia Jordan, thank you so much for joining us and sharing some of your insights on IT modernization in the federal government.
Thank you, Wyatt.
And look for more of our coverage on IT modernization on FedScoop.com. Thanks for tuning in.